Ever wonder how they do it? While everyone else is losing their minds, some people seem to glide through the storm, unshaken. They know a secret weapon forged in ancient Greece. We're giving you access to it right now. 6 Stoic strategies to control your life in a time of chaos. Because we all know what life feels like at its worst. When deadlines are screaming at you from your laptop screen. When your phone is buzzing at you with notifications. When people who depend on you, or who pay you, need answers. The pressure can make you feel as if you're about to explode. But what if I told you there was a way to hit the reset button? You can, using a simple, powerful technique first perfected by the ancient Stoics. The technique, our first technique, is just 7 words long. You have to focus on the present. To regain control, ground yourself in the here and now. It may sound simple, but when used right, it's very powerful. Instead of teaching it abstractly, let's do it. This is the 5 Senses Sanity Check. Set aside the next minute. It won't take long. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what 5 things can you see right now? Really look at them. The texture, the color, the light. What 4 things can you touch using your hand at this moment? Reach out and touch them. The ground, the grass, your skin. What 3 things can you hear? It could be anything. The television, a bird. What 2 things can you smell? Finally, what's 1 thing you can taste? Do it. Take a deep breath. Pause if you need to, and do this exercise. After it's over, ask yourself, how do you feel? Most people will feel calmer and more grounded, and that's an improvement over where you were a minute ago. The 5 Senses Sanity Check pulls you directly into the present moment, stopping the mental spin and giving your nervous system a break. So use it. Own it. You'll be amazed at how quickly it can bring you back to your center. But what if you don't have a minute? What if someone you work with or a partner confronts you or asks why you made a mistake? Your first reaction might be to get angry, and ultimately, it's your decision. But first, you need the space to decide what is right. This brings us to our second technique. Try using the 5-second rule. Because the key to unlocking Stoic serenity might be only 5 seconds away. If it sounds too good to be true, you should question your assumptions. Because the real problem isn't the chaos itself. It's your reaction to the chaos. Picture this, an email just landed in your inbox from someone close to you. All caps, exclamation points. It's not good. Your blood pressure spikes. Your fingers twitch, ready to fire back a scathing reply. That's your reactive brain hijacking the controls. It's a primal fight-or-flight response, wired to protect you from danger. But in the modern world, if we're being honest, the danger is nothing more than a strongly worded email, or someone driving too slowly in traffic, or a toddler throwing spaghetti at the wall. These things don't put our life in danger. We don't have to react as if they do. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoics, put it perfectly. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. And in that space is where the 5-second rule comes in. To use it, you must first recognize the trigger. It's that wave of anger, frustration, or anxiety you feel building. Then, pause. Don't react. Instead, count backwards from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Seems simple, right? But those 5 seconds are crucial. Let's go back to that angry email. Instead of immediately typing a response, you count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What happens? That initial wave of emotion starts to subside. You create distance between the stimulus, the email, and your response. Now, you can ask yourself, is firing back right now really the best course of action? Maybe a calm, clarifying response is all that's needed. It's not about suppressing your emotions. You should do what you think is right after those 5 seconds are over. But in those 5 seconds, you choose your response. This goes beyond theory. It's a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. So here's your challenge for today. Wait until you encounter a situation where you feel your emotions escalating, a frustrating conversation, a stressful task, an unexpected setback. Then use the 5-second rule. Just pause for 5 seconds and see what happens. You might be amazed at the difference it makes. For short-term problems, you can rely on the 5-second rule. For long-term problems, we have our third technique, radical acceptance. Radical acceptance means accepting what you cannot change and focusing on what you can. Let's take an example of something that's bigger than you. Traffic jams. We all know them, right? You're late, frustrated, and muttering under your breath at the minivan in front of you, going 20 miles per hour. You're basically screaming at the universe, and it's not listening. That's where radical acceptance comes in. It's not about toxic positivity, pretending everything is great when it is not. This is about something way more powerful. It's about acknowledging what is, not what you wish was. We start with, it is what it is. Then we ask, what now? Accepting it is what it is the first step. The cold, hard truth. The traffic jam is happening. Your flight is delayed. Your presentation is bad, but you have to give it. You can't avoid it. So, stop raging and start deciding, what now? Because here's the truth. Acceptance doesn't mean you're helpless. It means you're freeing up the energy you were wasting on denial to actually do something. So that traffic jam? You can't control the traffic. But you can call the person you're meeting or your office and let them know I'll be late. You can listen to music, or an audiobook, or just think about something else. You can also use something we call the choice matrix. Imagine drawing a big box and dividing it into 3 sections. The first is things I control. The second, things I can influence. And the third, the real energy sucker, is things I have no control over. Most of the stuff we stress about lives firmly in that no control box. Other people's opinions, the weather, and the past are off limits. It is up to us to deal with it, not to change it. So focus on what you can control. Free up your mental energy and do something useful. Yet we all know that even when we accept a tough situation, it can still feel overwhelming. For that, we have our 4th technique. We call it Stoic Time Travel. You can lower your stress by viewing current struggles through the lens of impermanence. You can use this for things like losing a client, getting a harsh word from someone you respect, or seeing a bad review of something you poured your heart into. In the moment, it can feel catastrophic, like the world is ending. But here's the thing, it's not the end. That is where Stoic Time Travel comes in. It's about recognizing the fundamental truth that everything changes. Pantarei, the Greek said, everything flows. The bad times will pass. So how do we do it? Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine that client you lost. Now, fast forward 1 month. Are you still obsessing over it? Probably not. You've likely landed a new client, or learned from the experience, or at least moved on to other challenges. Okay, 1 year. Is it still keeping you up at night? Doubtful. 5 years. It's a distant memory, a tiny blip in the grand scheme of your life. But, you're thinking, this situation feels different. This feels like a permanent scar. We get it. We all have been there. But it's much more likely that this is just a rough patch. It may last for what feels like forever, but it will fade. That's the truth of impermanence. It's a reminder that no matter how intense the storm, the sun will eventually break through. So the next time you're in the thick of it, remember this. This, too, shall pass. Let it be your stoic superpower. Because the knowledge that tough times don't last will help. And yet, bad moments can still sting. How can we improve on that? How can we make it so that individual blows don't hurt so much? For that, we can use our 5th technique, the art of non-attachment. You can find freedom by appreciating things without depending on them for your happiness. This is where Stoicism gets interesting, and even a little counterintuitive. We're constantly told to chase our dreams, grab onto opportunities, and cling on to the things we love. But what if that very grip is what's causing us pain? We believe our happiness is dependent on external things. But the truth is, it isn't. That's the core idea of non-attachment, to understand the difference between appreciation and dependence. It's not about not wanting things or not caring about people. It's about recognizing that your inner peace shouldn't hinge on whether or not things happen exactly as you planned. Here's a technique to get started. We call it the gratitude and detachment exercise. List 5 things you're genuinely grateful for right now. Maybe it's your health, your family, your home, or even a good cup of coffee. Really feel that gratitude. Soak it in. Now comes the hard part. One by one, mentally rehearse what it would be like to lose each of those things. What if you got sick? What if a loved one passed away? What if you lost your job or your house? Sounds morbid, I know. But here's the key. As you imagine these losses, don't wallow in despair. Instead, focus on the possibility of continued happiness, even without them. Remind yourself that you are resilient. You have inner resources. And even in the face of hardship, you can find meaning and joy. Think of Epictetus, who, despite living as a slave, achieved profound inner freedom. Or consider Nelson Mandela, who was imprisoned for decades, yet maintained an unwavering spirit. If they could do it, we can too. Imagine a kite, held tightly to the ground. It tugs and it pulls. But if you just let go of the string just a little, it will rise. We are like that kite. If we free ourselves of negativity, our emotions will lift too. And that's just a start. To be even better prepared, try our 6th and final technique. Use your mind to create your own Stoic mental armor. Imagine facing a barrage of bad news, a deal falling through, your closest relationship on the rocks. It can feel like a direct hit to the heart. But the truth is, life throws punches. It is what it is. The difference between those who thrive and those who crumble isn't whether they get hit, it's how they take the hit. This is why the ancient Stoics focused on building resilience, grit, and an unshakable inner core. The incredible thing is, you already have that armor-building ability inside you. The Stoics understood a fundamental truth, as relevant today as it was millennia ago. You can't control what happens to you, but you have absolute dominion over how you respond. Let me repeat, you control your response. Before a big presentation, you practice, right? You anticipate questions. You troubleshoot. So try doing that for your life. Imagine how things may go, the good with the bad. Now, here's the crucial step. Feel the emotions that come with it. The joy, but also the disappointment, the frustration, even the anger. Don't run from them. Sit with them, acknowledge them, and understand them. Because when the real thing happens, you won't be blindsided. Because you've already faced it in your mind. You've built up your resistance. If it happens, your brain will recognize the situation and say, I've seen this before. I know I survived last time. But anticipating the negative is only half the battle. The real power move is finding the good, even in disaster. In every single challenging situation, there is something beneficial, something positive. It might be tiny, obscured by the darkness, but it's there. Did a failure reveal a weakness in your strategy? Or an argument highlight a communication breakdown you can now address? That's a plus. It really is. By thinking like this, you can transform setbacks from crippling blows into valuable learning experiences. You become anti-fragile, strengthened rather than weakened by adversity. And now that you've heard all our techniques, let's walk through how you would use them through a case study. Say you're facing months of recovery after a bad injury. Maybe you tore your ACL and simply had a bad fall. It happens, especially as you get older. Here's how to apply each Stoic technique to not just endure this challenge, but grow stronger through it. First, after your injury, you might do the 5 Senses Sanity Check. A lot of us don't spend enough time in our bodies, instead living mostly in our heads. So reverse that. Think about your body more often. If you become frustrated by a simple task that's now difficult, pause and ground yourself. Identify 5 things you can see around you, 4 things you can touch, 3 sounds you hear, 2 smells, and 1 taste. The result is that your immediate frustration subsides. You regain perspective and approach your situation with greater clarity. After an injury, you might get angry more easily after not being able to do things you used to be able to do. So if someone offers unwanted advice about your recovery, or when a friend complains about trivial problems, count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This creates a space between stimulus and response. The result will be that you respond more thoughtfully. You protect both your relationships and your healing process. Know also that, after an injury, some things will change. Accept what you cannot change. Medical limitations are real. Focus instead on what you can control. Following medical advice, possibly doing physical therapy. The result will be that your mental health improves as you work with your situation rather than against it. You could also use Stoic Time Travel to project yourself forward in time. Visualize your future self having regained your mobility, perhaps with a deeper appreciation for movement and independence. Consider how this experience might give you perspective that others lack. The result will be a greater sense of ease. Daily frustrations become more bearable when viewed as temporary rather than permanent. Reflect also on the art of non-attachment, on appreciating progress without depending on it for happiness. When you achieve a recovery milestone, take it without euphoria, and when you face setbacks, recognize them without despair. Finally, use your Stoic mental armor. Anticipate challenging situations like a public outing where you'll need assistance, or an important event where your mobility will be limited. The result will be that, when these situations arise, they'll feel familiar rather than overwhelming. You can practice strategies that preserve your composure and self-respect, using your mind. So, in conclusion, let's recap the arsenal of Stoic techniques you now wield. 1. Use the 5 Senses Sanity Check. If you're feeling overwhelmed, hit the reset button. Focus on what you can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch right now. 2. Use the 5-second rule. Deploy the 5 seconds before you react to pause, breathe, and choose a smart response instead of a knee-jerk reaction. 3. Practice radical acceptance. Instead of fighting what you can't control, accept it. Then, focus your energy on what you can change. 4th, try Stoic Time Travel. Imagine looking back on your current problem from the future. Will it even matter? This helps you realize everything is temporary, good and bad. 5th is the related exercise is the practice of non-attachment. Appreciate the good stuff, but realize it could go away. From time to time, mentally practice letting go. Finally, our 6th practice. Build Stoic Mental Armor. Visualize setbacks and how you'll handle them. This primes your mind for tough times, so that when they hit, you'll be prepared and ready to endure. Ultimately, mastering Stoicism is about cultivating self-awareness, resilience, and inner peace. This is the way to succeed, regardless of external circumstances. So you can do more than survive the chaos. You can thrive in it. Pick just one technique and try it today. See how it works for you. Then add another tomorrow, and keep going. As for us, we'll be back with more ancient wisdom in our next video. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications to join our Stoic community. Your likes and comments help others find these tools when they need them most. These techniques aren't just theory. They're practical tools that have worked for thousands of years. So use them. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You know what to do now. The rest is up to you.